Hey, 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 you guys. This is the baby birthing godmother to millions, Tomesha Walker. And I'm so excited because on this National Maternal Health Day, I have an opportunity to share information with you and some of my amazing friends that support and assist the wonderful and amazing moms that I work with. So I'm greatly excited to be here with you guys today. And we are getting ready to gain some amazing information that I pray that you share with those that are your friends, those that are your family, anyone that you know that is pregnant or birthing or a mom, right? Because we want to make sure that we are uplifting them, that we are encouraging them, and that we are helping their experience to be the best experience possible. All right, so the first person that I want to share with you today is Miss Chris. Hi, welcome.
Hey, how you doing?
Great. So we're so glad that you are here and I love what you do. I've had an opportunity to see it for years. I've had an opportunity to experience it myself. And I even have moms that right away said, "This is something you provide with your packages? Oh, that's the package I want because that is what I need." So, for everyone else who has not met you yet, please share a little bit about yourself and what you do to support moms' maternal health.
Hello, everyone. Happy Maternal Health Awareness Day. I'm a licensed massage therapist. I have worked in the field probably my whole life, but I just recently got licensed in 2017. Um, uh, I have had the opportunity to work with tons of moms over the last 6 years, and it actually all started because someone like in my circle they got pregnant, and I was fascinated with the entire process, and I was like, I really want to work with women who are caring, and all the things. And in that moment, I knew I was like, yeah, this is something that I definitely want to add on to my services. Um, and at first, I didn't know what I was doing because I was really working by myself for a long time. But when I had the opportunity to join a franchise, it gave me a little bit more exposure and opportunity, and knowledge and know-how to be able to better to serve my particular customer base.
Wow. So you actually started with working with moms and just having a heart for supporting people in general. That is just beautiful. So, how do your services directly support moms? Like, I have known of those that work in the field of being able to help them just with body work in general, to help them be able to birth, to help them to be aligned. I've done interviews and talked to various practitioners in different fields that have helped them in that way. But how does massage therapy really support them when it comes to being healthier and or delivering better?
Well, first of all, if you ever carried a baby, the entire process is stressful, okay? So one thing that massage therapy does is it helps all those good hormones that help you to relax. It helps to heighten those, and it helps to bring down all the hormones that make us anxious and all the things. So, and when that takes place, it allows for caring to be a lot easier. When you're carrying that baby, you have the tilting of the pelvis and all the things being shifted and moved around. And I even heard someone say, they said, in 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 the 9 months that you're carrying your baby, you go through as many hormonal changes as you do when you're going through puberty. And I thought about that. I said, all that condensed into 9 months. So you have all these things happening with your hormones. Your body is shifting, your hips are moving, your pelvis is moving, your organs and your tissues are all moving, your body is being stretched. Literally, you have marks to prove it, most of us at least. And then you also you experience like your body swelling, you're retaining more water. You're finding that your body is just, and everybody's response to it is different. Some people have morning sickness and all the things. Some people don't. But predicated upon how you're responding to that, what massage does is it allows to create more relaxation. It allows for that blood and that lymph to be moved around to help your body to move it along a lot easier because you're already doing a ton of work. And when someone comes in to help push and pull and to do things for you that your body can kind of relax on, it's even the more better. And then also it just feels really, really amazing. Most often people just fall asleep anyways. And who doesn't want to sleep when they're pregnant? Most often you want to sleep, eat, and go, go back to sleep again.
I completely agree. I know that I have had an opportunity to take advantage of your services, and ma'am, I often fall asleep. So I know it is extremely relaxing and it just feels it's just amazing, amazing. And so I know as you talk about the lymph nodes and there's all different types of massages and all different types of things that you can use, right? So also with the different oils and scents that you can use. And I know some people have talked about that before, but I think it is wonderful to realize that everything that's around you, that God has created, that you can use in some way to support your health and your well being. So, whether it's lavender or peppermint or some other type of oil that is supportive of your comfort and your experience, I love the fact that I've seen you talk about and seen you add in those things to help support mental health and physical health. Because when we get an opportunity to relax, there is nothing like those muscles in your body relaxing the tension. My Lord have mercy. There's nothing like it. So, as
This
we
is true.
talk about the lymph nodes, I think that is a beautiful segue. If there's anything else, though, before I do that, that you would like to share, I give you the floor at this moment, Miss Chris. If there's something else that you would like for us to know about body alignment and such like that.
I think that if you are carrying, no matter where you are in that journey, whether you're at the beginning or the end, my encouragement to you is to get on someone's table, to find a way to fit it into your budget, because your body will thank you for it. Something that I wish I would have done that I'm actually gonna start doing now, and if I decide to conceive again, I will do in the future is also get a chiropractor, so that your body, as it is shifting, you can have those parties who are licensed professionals to help realign you in the process. So while your body is doing work, somebody else can work on you. And I hope that you carry well.
Oh, I love that, Carrie. Well, yes. Yes, I completely agree with you. I did a series a few years ago on the 7 people that I believe you should have on your team. And one of them was a chiropractor, for
Mhm.
sure, as well as a licensed massage therapist. I completely agree with you with that. And I'm so glad that you said that because that's one of the specialties I was thinking of today for supporting moms because I find it invaluable. There's an amazing chiropractor that I know, and you all have seen me do an interview with her before, and she supports not only pregnant mothers, but also their newborns, right? So she works with the entire family, her and her husband at their office, and they're absolutely amazing as far as their bedside manner, but then also their skill. I love that you said that they specialize, working with people who are certified in what they are doing. It's so important. So thank you so much for sharing your time,
Absolutely.
your expertise, your motherhood information. We appreciate that on this National Day. So have an
Absolutely.
amazing rest of your evening and thanks again for sharing with us.
Happy National Maternal Awareness Day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, as she was speaking so intelligently about the fact that you have many things happening in your body is set up in so many different ways to accomplish and produce things. When we talk about the lymph nodes, I love, and I was just teaching this week to a family about breastfeeding and how important it is to understand where your lymph nodes are, what they're doing, how to support your lymph nodes as they are producing and supporting breastfeeding. And so I have an amazing guest that is coming on today that'll be sharing some information, including information about breastfeeding and other things. And so I'm excited to welcome Robin Wilkes to the stage. Hi, Robin. How are you today?
I am doing well. How are you today?
I'm absolutely blessed, and I'm so honored to have you here, able to share with us. It's wonderful to network and to connect with friends that are all over. So, again, thank you for being here as we celebrate and support moms. So, as I was talking about lymph nodes, and as we talk
Yes.
about just breastfeeding in general, I'm a lactation consultant as well. And so, what are some things that you would like to share about that and how you support moms? And share with us a little bit about yourself as well.
Okay, so I'm Robin Wilkes. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm an owner of Relevate Wellness. And so I'm a licensed massage practitioner since 2010, a Reiki master, as well as a doula and a pale advocate, among other advocacies. So, what I do to support moms, I want to make sure that their voices are heard, that their wishes are carried out during their birth, their birthing plan, to make sure that they're respected, and so that their babies can be brought safely earthside. That is the goal: educating them, teaching them to advocate for themselves, as well as making sure we want them to live as well as their babies. For we know that there are disparities, and a lot of our Black moms are dying at a much more higher rate than those of their white counterparts. So, even even when once their babies are born, to try and educate them, encourage them to breastfeed. A lot of times you'll have people discourage them. It's okay, your milk is not going to come in right away. You just have to be patient, and if you're not getting what you need from the staff at the hospital, then make sure that you request a certified lactation consultant to make sure that you get what you need. If you are very adamant about exclusively breastfeeding your baby, please, I encourage you, moms, advocate for yourselves and do not allow the nursing staff, to feed your baby's formula. By no means. Even if they get less than an ounce, your colostrum will come in first. You'll learn different things, education about how to express your milk once it comes in, how to pump, how to safely clean your breast, different positions that will help your baby as well as you relax during that bonding time of breastfeeding.
That is absolutely wonderful. So I'm excited because, as many of you know, I'm a doula as well, and I have an opportunity to advocate for moms almost daily. And so I'm excited because I get to bring a fellow sister on here, and not just a doula sister, but someone who also helps with breastfeeding advocacy as well as pail advocacy, which many people don't know about, but that is
Absolutely.
so important. And I remember the first time that I did have an experience where I needed that type of education and didn't have it, and
Mhm.
decided that I was going to go and gain it because I didn't ever want to be in a position where I wasn't able to support a family fully in all of the areas that they needed. So,
Absolutely.
getting back to breastfeeding, I love the tips that you shared, Robin. So, talking about the fact that you want to make sure that when your colostrum is coming in, that you're really giving all of that to your little one and that you're not depending on anything else. It's enough. A lot of times I describe it as, if you've ever had a water bottle and you've gone to the store and gotten some of the mix, the little liquid bottles where you spray just a little bit in and it turns the whole bottle another color. Have you ever done that?
Yeah.
And it turns it a whole nother taste. So I explain to my parents, I say, now I understand you might not be producing a whole lot. That's because it's colostrum. It's set up differently than your milk, right? And
Mhm.
so you only need a couple drops. Their bellies are so
Absolutely.
little, but it does a whole lot, right? And so once mom and dad usually are able to get that concept and go, oh, okay, so they don't need 2.5 bottles.
No.
They don't need 6 bottles, right? Or sometimes it's like, well, maybe I should go get a gallon of milk. You don't need all of that for that little one. They can't handle all of that. They
Absolutely.
cannot handle it. And so it's neat to think about the fact that a couple of drips to do you. All they need to do is be able to stay with you
Yes.
when they're born. keep them on you skin to skin. They don't need to go anywhere. They don't need to see anybody. They need to see you. They need to
Absolutely.
hear you. And they don't need a whole lot of light to do it either. I just got to throw that in there. They have all the
Absolutely.
lights on in the world. They don't need all that. They don't need all that. They haven't had light like that ever. So it's more irritating than it is helpful, right? That was just a side
Right.
note. That was just a side note for y'all.
Right.
But dealing with maternal health and breastfeeding, I even had a mom the other day whose baby came so quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
That all of the fluid hadn't been pressed out just yet. They came so fast that they breastfed right away. We did really great with that immediate skin to skin and that almost immediate breastfeeding. But within the next 24 hours, they were spitting up the rest of the fluid and didn't really want to eat. And I love the fact that because we had done education and because this wasn't our first go round, this was actually our third of her fourth, right? Returning to this beautiful scene of birth where she was able to take a deep breath and not freak out thinking that her baby wasn't going to be okay, that her baby was going to be malnourished because they weren't breastfeeding. So instead, she said, I know some other tips and techniques. And she started hand expressing and
Mm-hmm.
giving milk to the baby by spoon because we had talked about
Absolutely.
spoon feeding and
Mm-hmm.
cup feeding the
Up.
milk, not having to bottle feed. And she sent me pictures, and I was just like,
It's a crying moment in celebration because even with the little cup or spoon, if you just
Mhm.
put it up to their mouth, like they will there, it automatically they will back. It's
Yes.
almost like a backward flow with their tongue for them, how they'll
They do
pull it
such a
in.
good job. They
Yes.
do such a good job. There's no
Yes.
nipple confusion going on, and they're able to take how much they need, when they need, when you tip it just a little. It's perfect. It's perfect. And it brings home the point that we're talking about concerning colostrum and only needing a couple of drops, right? Just needing a little
Absolutely.
bit. And so it's amazing to see how beautifully our bodies were created and how easily, oftentimes, sometimes it's a little bit of work, that they can do things, right? Like making milk, like providing for each other. And one of the other tips I love to share and advocate for is the fact that the milk continuously changes. It continuously changes.
It
So
does.
every time you kiss your little one, when you hold them and snuggle with them, it changes to support them based on what's going on around them and what they need. I love that fact. I love that
Mm-hmm.
fact. I mean,
It
I
is.
love that fact. And then do you have another one that you'd like to share? Because I want to share one about the temperature, how temperature changes. But what's one
Mm.
that you might like to share about mothers and just supporting their health?
One of the things I just ask that moms give themselves grace.
Yes.
Give yourselves a lot of grace. Your body has
Mhm,
gone through a traumatic experience, no matter how good you feel at the moment and the
mhm.
excitement, but it's almost like coming down off of this big, and then
A
it's almost
high
like you
almost.
just crash,
Mhm.
almost like you've
Yes.
been up studying for a test for a whole week, cramming all night. And then once it's over and you have this big sigh of relief, and then it seems like everything started crashing down. So give yourself grace. It's about rest and restoration
Mhm.
is what I tell
Yes.
my moms. It's about rest and restoration, and always accept help. And one tip that I'd like to give moms, sometimes depending on how your baby is brought earthside, you may not feel like doing the direct skin to skin. One of the things I like to share, when my daughter in law had given birth 11 years ago, and one of the reasons why I got into doula as a massage therapist, I would get in the bed with my clients, and massage them through their labor. And so I was doing all
Mm.
those things as a licensed individual. Um, And I was like, oh, well, I've been doing doula stuff for all these years. But what I'd like to say, if they can't do skin to skin and dad is there, let dad do skin to skin. My son did.
Yes.
So he immediately did the skin to skin, which
Yes.
still creates that bond and regulates the baby's temperature, even with dad. Even if it's not mom,
Yes.
it's dad. So that's one of the tips that I'd like to share.
Yes, 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 yes. And one of the births I did a week ago, that is exactly what we did. That is exactly what we did. After she had the baby and the cord stopped pulsing, and we cut the cord, dad cut that cord, and she was holding baby and needed just a moment, right? And he was
Right.
ready. I told you this wasn't our first rodeo. He was ready. And he was like, yes, yes, yes. Let me hold my little one. Shirt off, ready to go. Had that little one right there, covering that little one right up. Oh, it was a beautiful sight. That's some of my favorites. That is some of my favorites.
Yes.
Always holding them. And the thought that I was having concerning being able to change your temperatures. So even when you're holding your little one in the middle of your chest or in down between your breast, man, let them be a little chilly or let them be a little warm. Your breast, literally like a thermostat, will get warmer or cooler. I
Hmm.
love studying that and looking
Absolutely.
over the data from that. It's beautiful and it's amazing. Experiencing it in real time. I had a mom whose baby's temp was just borderline. And they were concerned, right? They were getting ready to wrap the baby up, take the baby over to the warmer. And I'm like, mom's the best warmer. Like, like it didn't take too long. It was like a furnace in there. In between the baby mama and the blankets,
Hmm.
I said, oh my, oh my, oh my. So before we transition to our next speaker today, is there anything else that you would like to share with us?
No, just
No?
advocate, advocate, advocate for yourself. If they're not listening to you, then find someone who will.
Thank you so much, Robin. It has been a
Yeah.
pleasure having you today.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Have a blessed rest of your day. And
All
thank you for
righty.
all the advocating that you do.
All righty. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. So, guys, I have an amazing treat for you. Someone that I think is just absolutely amazing, doing amazing things. And as we are talking more about this National Maternal Health Awareness Day, listen, I had to bring y'all some of the big guns, some people that you know that are doing just amazing things and that are amazing people. So I bring to the stage Miss Mila Perry. My gosh. Miss Perry, how are you doing this amazing day?
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're great.
All right, I just happened to be at my son's basketball game. It just finished, and I had to make it my business to jump on here and spend some time with you and spend some time with the community. And I'm just living the dream. I'm living the dream. Thank you for asking.
I can completely see that. I know that. Let's let our viewers know about that. So,
Mhm.
Miss Mila Perry, tell us a little bit about what you do and who you
Yeah.
are for those that don't know you by chance. And as we've talked about massage therapy and breastfeeding and advocating, listen here, y'all. Let's step it up a little bit more as I share with you this amazing, amazing woman.
Well, that's very kind. My name is Mila Perry, and I am an Ohio native. I live in Westchester, Ohio, which is southwest Ohio, right outside of Cincinnati, north of Cincinnati, so in Butler County. I have the pleasure of being a wife and a mother of six amazing children. I also have the pleasure of being the founder of a nonprofit called NINE. So that's NYNIINC, and we are a maternal health infant care company. Our company really makes it our business to provide excellent doula care and lactation services and education to our families, as well as providing a pathway for those who want to get into birth work to be able to do that. And so we do that by connecting them with training, um, connecting them with the finances to, be trained in doula work, or if they want to, go into lactation, helping them with that. So we just really make it our business to be about the business of our people and about, making sure that these babies get here strong, healthy, and thriving. The nonprofit is actually named after my youngest children, which the first four are boys and the last two are girls. So Nyla and Nia, because really I believe seriously in making sure that when they are at birthing age, that these numbers won't look like they look for them, they look for us. That infant mortality won't be a thing for them that it is for us. That maternal death at these just outrageous numbers won't be a thing for them like it is for us. So we are passionate about doing that work. We provide through partnerships and collaborations. Black women who desire to have doulas, they don't have to pay for that. We can help them with that as well. But we're just very committed to healthy mom, healthy baby outcomes.
I told y'all. I know y'all knew I was serious when I said I was bringing the heavy hitters. Okay, so Miss Mila, you
Yeah,
completely hit on the theme for this year. Completely hit on the theme, which is access in crisis, right?
absolutely.
And so when you talk about the numbers, right, we have received like a D plus, a D plus
Yeah,
when it comes to support and things that we have seen happening
yeah.
just throughout the community. But March of Dimes, literally a D plus. Like,
It's crazy. It's crazy.
what is
We're
going on? And then seeing the stats where
yeah.
getting as high as 6 times
Hmm.
when it comes to mortality. What?
So I was viewing this documentary today, and it's called Birth Justice.
Mm-hmm,
PBS has it on their on demand service, so you all can go check that out. But it's called Birth Justice, and one of the stats they had on there, they talked about 30 years ago. For us, the outcomes were better then than they are now. 30 years ago, like if you think
mm-hmm,
back to
mm-hmm,
like 30 years ago and the things that were happening or not happening as far
mm-hmm,
as the advancements and whatnot, and here we are having worse outcomes. We're 23, and that is not the top 20, but the bottom of developed countries,
mm-hmm.
and the care that we have for our families, and it's just not acceptable. It's not acceptable. It's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if that is where we are as a maternal health, as a total,
Mm-hmm.
even the more for us
Yeah.
women of color, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of us people
Yeah.
of color.
Yeah.
So it's something, it is an alarming, these are alarming rates, these are alarming numbers, this is not the time to just go, oh, wow, that's really unfortunate. But this is truly the season to
Mm-hmm.
start getting mobilizing and figuring out what is it that we have to do? What is it that has to happen to make sure that we're ensuring these birth outcomes, they change and they're different? Because there's no excuse. We have too many
None. None.
resources, too much access, that
Mm-hmm.
our access be in crisis, which is a
Mm-hmm.
problem,
Mm-hmm.
and it shouldn't matter who is in office, right? It shouldn't matter
Mm-hmm.
who shows up in these birthing spaces,
Mm-hmm.
but unfortunately, at this present time, it does.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
why I appreciate the work that you do, and that the fact that you are dedicated to the cause and to making sure that people are in place and have information or are excited about doing this work, because that's really what it takes. It really
Mm-hmm.
takes an excitement, a passion about sharing information, doing this work, so we can encourage
Yeah.
and wake up those around us that, hey, this is a crisis.
Mm-hmm.
This is not okay. This is not how life is supposed to be. This is not just a normal thing that happens.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of how we've been conditioned into thinking that, oh, it just happens. Infant loss just happens. Maternal death just happens.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the case. No more should it just happen.
Yes. We were just talking about PAL, which is a
Yeah.
training dealing with
Mm-hmm.
supporting
Yes.
maternal loss in the way of their infants being lost.
Yes.
And you know, we're having to see that and deal with that too much.
Hmm.
There's the fact that, I mean, I'm glad that there's training and we have some amazing people like Nick Hall that is doing training concerning
Phenomenal
that.
work. Phenomenal work. She is. She's doing
Phenomenal.
phenomenal work.
Yes.
Hmm.
But it's like, oh, that the fact that we need it.
Yeah. Yeah. And needed
It's
in
such
such large numbers. Like it's such a
that.
deficit that enough people don't have access to that support or access to that training.
Mhm,
It's it is one of those things that you hope and pray that would not be a thriving business, right? Because you're like these to have these conversations with these families are are terrible. You know, they're heart wrenching, but
mhm,
and at the same time, the fact that um, Ms. Hall does have this organization that's doing this work,
mhm,
it's also extremely comforting as well because
mhm,
somebody needs to, and she's taken the charge to say, you know what, I'm going to be the leader in this space. And I'm making
mhm,
my business to make sure that people have access to this information and
mhm.
this education, this support.
Yeah.
So, we can show up for our families in the most traumatic times, in the most sensitive times in their lives. So they know that there's still yet hope
Yeah.
when they're feeling so lonely and so they're
Mhm.
just so broken and many times ashamed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Just there's just so much around that infant loss.
Yeah, to help them through the trauma and that shock.
Yeah.
And so, as you were talking about the numbers as well, just being, they're utterly ridiculous. I was giving a presentation in California just talking about my company, Birthing Destiny Maternal Services. And
Hmm.
I had to do research to talk, specifically in the area, right?
Yeah.
And so, as I'm researching these stats and I'm looking, because the stats I normally know are for Ohio, because I'm normally speaking concerning
Right.
Ohio, right? But I'm in California and I wanted to bring it home. And so, I'm looking and across the nation, these stats are
Mind blowing.
ridiculous.
Mind
So
blowing.
I was seeing stats from 3 times more in
Hmm.
people of color. Then I was seeing 6 times more. Then I was seeing 8 times more. Then there were certain counties that had 10 times more. And I was like, wait,
How is
wait,
this possible? How is this
wait,
possible? Yeah.
wait.
Yeah. Yeah. I start thinking about that Michael Jackson song where he talks about all I gotta say is that they don't really care about us.
Oh
It's
my
like
gosh.
it is
Well,
like how can you not take on that feeling or that notion
hmm.
that you're just not cared about? You know
And I would
how?
say even yes, we see it disproportionately with people of color, just the
Hmm.
numbers. But across the board, in my opinion, the way that some of the systems are set up and the structures are set up, the question is, what is the concern and what
Hmm.
is the care, right?
Hmm.
So, yes, we do see it disproportionately, but in fighting for mothers as a whole,
Yeah.
advocating for mothers as a whole, I'm
Hmm.
concerned with
Absolutely.
the way the care is given, right?
Hmm.
And what happens. Like, people, I mean, it is funny, and I've seen some things concerning the Stanley mugs and concerning the hospital mugs. Have you seen
Hmm.
any of those parodies?
Mm-mm.
Like, okay,
Mm-mm.
so the Stanley mugs are expensive and very popular right now. But they say in some of the video parodies is that it's not just the Stanley mug, right? It's not just the Stanley mug that's the huge deal, right? But it is the hospital mug because that's really the most expensive mug that you will ever, 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 ever have because they're billing astronomically, even for the care that's being provided, even for the moms that are lost, even for it's
Yeah.
billing, 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 billing. So
I also just recently saw a billing breakdown and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't I couldn't believe it. It was just like, are you kidding me?
you
I
never knew an
mean,
aspirin was worth so much. An ibuprofen was worth
listen,
so much.
listen. So when we advise our families to make sure they either bring their own stuff or make sure they clear that stuff out, because don't leave not near one thing behind. Don't leave anything behind. But it is, and to go back to touch on what you were sharing with before that the issue was just so widespread. I was listening to a panel that the American Obstetrician and Gynecologist Association had put on today, and they were sharing how that these deserts now that are happening, these
Damn.
obstetrician deserts that are
Yes.
happening, and you know how you have all of these Congress people that are making decisions that have no background and anything related to birth. Like they have no idea, but they're making these decisions that affect these families that are changing the whole trajectory of how birth work is done in this country. And it's not for the better.
Ma'am.
It's not for the better. It is
Ma'am.
absolutely for the worst. And
So
so if I'm listening.
we were on a meeting the other day that's talking about new decisions that are coming down the
Yeah.
pipeline. And you can
Yeah.
look at it, one way or the other, but I honestly feel like the way that they're deciding what the next steps are going to be is very reminiscent of how they did with midwifery so many years ago. It's like now that we're getting to a space where more people understand the need for doulas, more people understand the advocacy point, more people are going, oh, wait a minute, this is something I need, not just something
Mm-hmm.
I want, but a
Wants. Mm-hmm.
doula is something that I need
Necessary.
for my
Mm-hmm.
health and my well being.
Mm-hmm.
I'm concerned. I, 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 I am extremely concerned
Yeah.
because it looks exactly the same. And for those that may not know about that history, for midwives, many of them were local to their area. They
Mm-hmm.
were working with their population, and they were often women of color that were
Mm-hmm.
supporting families to birth their babies in a very healthy, loving, and supportive arena and way. And they were
Mm-hmm.
pushed out and
Absolutely.
told, and it was more so a smear campaign that was done, but pushed out to be replaced by those that had degrees of some sort or
Mm-hmm.
certifications of some sort,
Mm-hmm.
to say that if you birthed at home or if you had a home birth midwife, that you were in some way less than or
Mm-hmm.
dirtier, or couldn't afford the accoutrements of a
Mm-hmm.
hospital, and that
Mm-hmm.
that's why the only reason you would put your life in jeopardy to do something like that. I think you muted yourself. Not yet. So as you're figuring that out, it is what I see just really happening with that is that even though we are having the ability to learn more and to do more and being offered so much more, I am really concerned about the fact that there are so many people who seem to be moving into the field that don't know about the field but are making decisions and judgments about the field, and so many people who are giving just their input that
Okay. Can you
may
hear me
not
now?
actually be a part of what is the advocacy and the love piece for mothers and for families. So that's my real concern. So, what do you see right now with the take on all of those things that are happening and how it looks like that shifting is going for us here in the state of Ohio?
It is the writing on the wall, you know, and if we don't pay attention to our history, we're bound to repeat it, right? That's something that is a common
Quoted
quote
often. Mm-hmm.
that that is shared, that's repeated because it's factual. And
Yeah.
so which is why I and just our organization have just been very intentional about making sure that we are putting um, women and men who look like us in position to be able to be ready when they start playing these games, because the writing's on the wall, they're going to start playing the games. And so we are just very, very intentional about making sure that we're finding out, okay, what it is that they're saying that the requirements are going to be. All right, let's get information and make sure that we have these requirements and have these certifications and are that there's no excuse when it then comes down to us being able to show up, that we're there in position ready to show up. Because we really can't spend our energy um always fighting and bucking the system. That's a fight, and that can be a fight for someone else. um but we also have to remember that in the midst of that fighting, that there are real lives and real bodies that are being affected by it. And so, we are 9E, we're very intentional about making sure that those who desire to be trained and those who desire to have their certifications, specifically through Dona International, can get that done and get that done at no cost to them, as long as they are identified as being a Black person and they live in Southwest Ohio. And we're even trying to extend some grant and fundings beyond that. But because we have to be ready and we have to be prepared, and we'll allow other people to fight about why, um, when it comes down the pipeline, why it's fair or not fair, that might be an organization that is accepted while others are not. We just really have to be in position. We just need to make sure that we stay ready. So, well, first we have to get ready, and then to be able just to stay ready, because our sisters and our brothers and our babies are being affected by this. This is like, these are real lives. These numbers are real people. I just recently had um, a mom who was when I first met her, she was very on edge, very um, trauma moved, because here she was pregnant, has a lot of medical things going on. And back in April, her sister had passed. So she lost her sister during childbirth at a hospital where she worked at. And so now she was pregnant and kind of just thinking, am I going to make it? Is this going to be my same fate that was, her fate? And we're grateful that, though she did have a difficult and a high risk pregnancy, but she was able to make it, and not only making it, but she's thriving, and so is her baby. So again, these are real people with real stories, um, real traumatic experiences that are happening to them, and we need to figure out ways to be in position to be a service to them.
Thank you, thank you. My, oh my, I completely agree. And I thank you for the work that you do within the community. I absolutely love hearing about, and we're excited as an organization to support the work that you're doing and to support the moms and babies. It is just life changing to have that advocacy. There's nothing like it. And so I knew that I believed it, but when I heard moms tell me stories of how the room changed because I walked in, and it's like, what do you mean? Like, they've been like this the whole time I've been here, and they're like, no,
You make a
nobody was like this.
difference. Yes, you make a difference.
And so that's what we come to say.
Absolutely.
During this maternal health awareness day, that's a national day with the
Hmm.
theme of, right, access in crisis.
Access and
Have someone
crisis.
there to advocate for you. If you are
Hmm.
pregnant and delivering, I don't care if you're due next week. Have someone there to advocate for you that's educated, that can help
That's
you through this
educated.
process. And as we spoke
Hmm.
multiple times, certifications do matter.
They do.
You want someone who's had the training, that has the knowledge, and has the heart. So many people that want to do this have the heart, but the knowledge and the education is extremely important as well. You want somebody
Hmm.
that's educated and that is going to educate you also, so that you can
Hmm.
advocate for yourself in situations as well. So, thank
And
you
dare we
so much.
say respected?
Mhm.
Because sometimes that piece of paper gets you a different level of respect also
Mhm.
when you
Mhm.
walk in those rooms.
Yes.
And which is important, you know, which is
Mhm.
absolutely important. And I just want to make sure that your viewers know that even if they decide that, you know, well, my auntie can do this or my mom can do this, um, you know what? Yes, she can advocate for you,
Mhm.
but please, 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 please have her spend some time with a doula so she can get the
Yes.
language, she can get the
Yes.
information, she can get the
Yes.
resources, she can get all these things that she
Mhm.
needs to be able
Mhm.
to show up the best she can for you. The
Yes.
best she can for you because those that love you and know
Mhm.
you, you
Mhm.
know, in your community, in your family, in your village,
Mhm.
they absolutely want the best for you, but they don't always have the tools to be able to give the best to you. So you
Mhm.
want to be able to marry the two together, that
Yes.
doula as well as that, you
Mhm.
know, that auntie, that grandma, that partner, the both together. We work
Yes.
together. We don't
Yes.
work in competition. We work
Yes.
together
Yes.
alongside with your midwife or your OBGYN. You
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
everyone needs a doula. Get yourself a doula. Get yourself a doula.
Yes.
And
We
so
are there to support.
and
Part
I'm
of the
glad that
support
you're
team.
I'm just so glad that your company is doing just amazing things and making it, you know, you all's business to show up for families. As you said, again, where access is so critical, you all are
Mhm.
making it your business to
Mhm.
make sure that access is accessible. And I
Yes.
just love that. I love that. So thank you for being amazing and doing just amazing work on this earth. You are necessary. You are needed. You are a trailblazer. And
Mhm.
I'm grateful to be in community with you. And I look forward to more
Yes.
collaborations and, you know, more ways that we can support one another.
For sure. Be blessed. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you. You
stopping
too.
through and supporting. We love you as well. Feel the same way and are excited about what you do. We'll talk to you next time, Miss Marla. All right, guys. Was that not amazing? I told you, I told you, I told you. There are some amazing people that are in the community that want to support and want to assist you. So, we came on here today just to encourage you, to remind you that even in the midst of all the things that are going on, you have people that care about you, that are advocating for you. And we wanted to celebrate this day and bring you details and information that we knew could assist you. So if you need more references, if you need more information about organizations, about individuals that are in your community that want to do more to help you, we can assist you with that. Though we are based here in Ohio, some of the speakers that I brought to you were not from Ohio. And I have many people that I know all around the world that can help you. So whether you're listening to this and you are in Istanbul, or whether you are listening to this and you are in Canada or in California, know that there are individuals and resources that I can share with you so that your birth experience, your breastfeeding experience, your motherhood journey and pregnancy can be enriched, can be encouraged, and you can have the opportunity to excel in your experience and survive, right? Because there's many things that are out here that are attempting to take away the joy, the life, the hope, and the experience for mothers and for infants. So today we encourage you and we uplift you and we say, you can do this. And we're here to support you in this journey. If you have any additional questions, feel free to leave it in the comments and feel free to reach out to us at Birthing Destiny Maternal Services by going to birthohio.com. That's birthohio.com, and you can reach out to me, Tomesha D. Walker, the godmother to millions, and I would love to assist you where you are. Being a part, as Mila said, of DONA, I am the Ohio State Rep, and I would love to also mentor and support any of you that are doulas in training or doulas that want to be able to expand your network and want to be able to support more families. Feel free to reach out to me as well. I have services to support you also. Be encouraged, moms. Be encouraged, families, and know that you're not doing this alone. You can have hope in the midst of all of the things that you're dealing with. Be blessed. Know that God loves you, and we're here to support you. Have a great rest of your day, and happy National Maternal Health Day to you. Bye bye, and God bless.